Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So I got Bitcoin here on the daily trading at 93.74. Not too much movement, guys. We aren't seeing anything really. Cryptos are trading fairly sideways after we saw this leg up after the flash crash of mid-March 2020. A significant pump up for cryptos up until about early May, and then just sideways momentum. We still have to puncture that $10,000 ceiling for Bitcoin. And we're watching the rest of the space follow. Long XRP trading now at 0.196 cents. Also not too much momentum, some sideways movement over the last several days. But you guys can see since that flash crash a few months ago, we have been seeing volume rise altogether, even if we are trading sideways here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Down here, the momentum, the trading volume is quite high. At least on this exchange. This is the Bitstamp exchange I have here on TradingView. So more volume means more traders. And guys, here's a new one. I haven't heard this. The Bitcoin 896-day accumulation will now spark a 100K bull run for Bitcoin. Now, I talk about Bitcoin on this channel, as some of you already know. Most of you probably should already know by now, because Bitcoin leads the market. Other cryptos follow. So this is important. A giant repositioning since December 2017 is about to come to a close, claims Positive Crypto, leading to new all-time high prices. So Bitcoin has spent almost 900 days correcting from its $20,000 all-time highs, but its trip to 100K is about to start. That is the opinion of Positive Crypto, who is a cryptocurrency trader. He says that despite the fact that we were seeing a downward trend after December 2017. He says this was all just an accumulation phase for traders, and this consolidation structure is now ripe for disintegration to give way to a new bull run, which will obliterate, he says, obliterate the $20,000 zone. He comments, and this is a quote, "The last 896 days were simply one massive reaccumulation phase before the run to 100K plus. Bitcoin and the consolidation structure will soon be broken. Are you prepared?" I think a lot of us are very, very prepared at this point. We've been waiting for over 2 years now. Cryptocurrency has never been more part of my life than now, and I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. Despite wobbling around the halving, and after the Bitcoin price has entirely erased losses from the March crash, which is an also interesting thing to note. The crash here from the beer flu pandemic when everybody was panicking, we've essentially recouped those losses, so that is important to note. And now we're forming higher lows. So this was the former low, then we formed a low around here, and now could we be continuing through to the top? I still think we will see some more lows because this projection is still a couple of years off. Ultimately, though, we could see a Bitcoin bull run over the next, I think he says, 1 to 2 years. So, and guys, on top of this, the Bitcoin rich list is getting richer. So on top of the XRP rich list, people accumulating more XRP. We don't talk too much about the Bitcoin rich list. And so here are some charts down here. I'm just going to get to the meat and potatoes of this. All right, so there was a significant transfer of BTC after the flash crash of March 2020. And they're saying now, though, that because of those transactions, because of the selling and then people buying it up, so essentially looking at what we had seen over here, bunch of selling, bunch of buying. So now all this Bitcoin that used to be in these hands are now in these hands. And what they are suggesting is more people could be indeed just storing their Bitcoin on a Ledger Nano, for example, or an external cold storage wallet. So this could be skewing the numbers a little bit because people aren't keeping their crypto on the exchanges, which you should never do to begin with, guys. I've got a ledger. I've got a couple of them, actually. I have one as a backup, one as my main ledger. And if you still do not have a ledger, you probably should get one, especially knowing that a bull run is coming up, because hackers are greedy, and they will take your crypto from the exchange, especially when there's a lot of confusion, a lot of commotion, a lot of activity. And we're seeing over the years more and more hacks taking place as crypto gains in value. So I have an affiliate link for a ledger in the description of every video. You can use it if you want. You don't have to use it. I do like to tell everybody, though, from time to time to get a Ledger Nano, because when the cryptocurrency exchanges are jammed, trust me, if you got hacked and your Bitcoin is gone, it'll be a lot more difficult to get their attention when we're in a full-fledged bull run. Guys, I saw this from Wendy O, wendycoinhq.tv. So just a comment. I spent about 2 hours of my time trying to pay for one of my VPN services with BTC. Confirmation took 2 hours. Then because of the fees, the total payment was $4 short. My mobile wallet has a minimum I can spend, so I can't complete the transaction. We are not anywhere near adoption. This is her sentiment with regards to Bitcoin. But Wendy, I think we are closer to adoption than you might believe. Now, I don't think Wendy is part of the XRP community. She's part of the crypto community. And so this is the problem with people who want to use Bitcoin for everyday purchases. This is a classic example, a textbook case of why it doesn't work. And I got XRP Crypto Wolf here, posted this article, and this segues really nicely into Wendy's tweet here. Many highly regulated financial institutions are already leveraging XRP to improve the global payments experience of their customers. XRP's speed, low transaction costs, and scalability put the digital asset in a league of its own when it comes to settlement. And so this out today from the Ripple's Insights webpage. A preferred base currency for arbitrage trading. And if we're going to digitize everything one day, XRP will be necessary because of its nearly instantaneous settlement process. Digital assets are often referred to as safe haven assets that market participants turn to during turmoil. And they give an example here. Amidst the sudden market collapse on March 12, 2020, many are calling Black Thursday, daily transaction fees skyrocketed to 5 times the normal amount on the Ethereum and Bitcoin network, delayed settlements, and increasing the price of exchange for currencies between exchanges. So panic, and prices went up because there's chaos in the market. So during this time, analysis shows that users began shifting to the digital asset XRP for exchange balance transfers. And so again, now this is Ripple saying it, but again, I've been saying this now video after video after video after video. The fact that these exchanges, when we see all these exchanges listing XRP as a base pair, this is going to be great for XRP in the next bull run, because now we do not have to rely on Ethereum. We do not have to rely on Bitcoin to transfer funds across certain assets. We can use XRP, hence more volume will be flowing through XRP. More buyers and sellers will be trading XRP. There will be more volume, and more usage ultimately will mean that the price of XRP, I think, will continue to rise. Here's a chart here from this article, the daily median cost per transaction in USD, and you guys can see during that March 12th crash. So here's March and here's April. So March 12th would bring us around here. Look at where Bitcoin spiked, and then even after that, Bitcoin spiked even higher. And Ethereum spiked to here, but XRP still kind of hovering down here. So you can see XRP's low transaction fees, reliability, and speed make it ideal for sourcing liquidity and cross-border payments. These same attributes also enable market makers and traders to take advantage of arbitrage opportunities, intra-exchange, even in times of market stress. As Ripple puts it right here, traders and market makers leverage XRP to quickly service margin calls and manage risk collateral. So this bull run will be a different bull run. It'll feel different in a lot of ways. It'll be more seamless. It'll be more profitable for many. It'll be less chaotic, less clunky. And because you and I already have XRP, since we already hold XRP, it's going to be great, because when traders are trading their Bitcoin at 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, wherever it goes, and if they're smart, they're going to want that intermediary currency to trade back to fiat. It will actually be quicker to trade Bitcoin to XRP to fiat than Bitcoin to fiat directly. I think that's how it would go. Anyway, going to keep moving along here. Ripple ODL customer Mercury FX. Yeah, you guys remember Mercury FX? They're confirming ODL usage and teases some new and exciting news. So Mercury FX, as some of you guys know, a global currency specialist and Ripple ODL partner, has confirmed their usage of Ripple's ODL platform. Mercury FX is a global firm with offices in London, Hong Kong, and South Africa. The company focuses on corporate and high transaction customers. And the CEO of Mercury FX, Alastair Constance, said this, but to really grow, we wanted to target anyone who needs cross-border payments. Disruptive technology like blockchain does not come along too often. When we discovered that Ripple could help us settle payments 100 times faster and at a fraction of the cost, it was a game-changing moment. The firm also reiterated its use of the remittance platform in response to a tweet to streamline cross-border payments. So this tweet from Winston Buki, just from yesterday, hey Mercury FX, are you guys still using on-demand liquidity through XRP? Thanks for the answer. And Mercury FX responds, we sure are, and some exciting news to come. Now, some people are speculating that this news could have to do with Ripple and XRP. Some people are saying, well, they're not actually stating that their new and exciting news has to do with Ripple and XRP. So I guess we just have to wait and see. But great news there coming from the Mercury FX camp. Liquidity, 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 guys. It's on the rise once again. I follow the liquidity index bot, and every now and again I get these colorful charts in my Twitter feed. And look, guys, new ODL all-time highs for Australia. We're seeing new peaks here in the Australian corridor, and same with the Mexican corridor. You can see that up here. Beautiful, colorful charts. We've seen a bit of a decrease in the Filipino corridor and in the European corridor, which just opened up recently, or rather, we are just getting data from that now. It's great to see ODL becoming so commonplace now. And again, this is just a drop in the bucket. We are going to continue to see this move higher and higher as the months go on. As the years go on, I'm really curious to see what this will look like when the economy really does pick back up again, and once we start to see more people get back to work. Will some of these countries have taken the time to integrate more with Ripple and XRP during this downtime that we're having? Because there's not much going on right now. I mean, of course, remittances are still going back and forth from country to country, but ultimately this is a down period, a great time for so many things to happen around the world. I always say, construction in Toronto is terrible, and why can't they just get all the crews out there and just do the construction now? Just get them out there so that when we actually need to get back on the roads, everything will be fine. Anyway, wishful thinking, I doubt it'll happen. Martin Volk here on Twitter, always posting some great stuff. Thanks so much, Martin. Pointed me to this article, Progress and Next Steps with FedNow service. So payments industry stakeholder attending the April 20th Nacha Payments 2020 Remote Connect virtual event received an update on the FedNow service. And for those of you guys who do not know FedNow, it was mentioned here in this November 2019 article. There was an announcement published then, the near instant FedNow service. The Federal Reserve Board is developing a new round-the-clock real-time payments and settlement service dubbed FedNow. And some people were speculating that it could be Ripple-enabled. FedNow will feature near instantaneous transactions that will be processed every day of the week, including weekends 24/7. The announcement read in part, "The rapid evolution of technology presents a pivotal opportunity for the Federal Reserve and the payments industry to modernize the nation's payment systems and establish a safe and efficient foundation for the future." 24/7, 365. So we've heard Ripple actually comment how it's beneficial for companies that do round-the-clock business to integrate with RippleNet, so that, and especially companies that are global, right? Because there's time zones around the world, and you're paying different people at different times of days, and all those intricacies get involved in the payment structure. So FedNow saying that they are 24/7, 365. Some people were assuming that Ripple, since it is an American company, since they have been cozy with banks and financial institutions and governments, could be part of this. Don't know if you guys remember, Dilip Rao actually said, "Good move. FedNow will drive the transformation of real-time payments and infrastructures around the world, both domestic and cross-border. Ripple mission IOV, Internet of Value." So Dilip Rao, obviously an employee of Ripple, and praising the FedNow initiative. Ripple is already part of the Federal Reserve's Faster Payment Task Force, with the company's head of research at the time on the business development team, Ryan Zagone, elected as the member of its steering committee in 2015. So there is definitely a connection with that initiative. And now they're saying FedNow service continues to be a high priority for the Federal Reserve. It is currently in active development. The work continues on building the service even in this challenging time, and is expected to be available as publicly discussed in 2023 or 2024. So still a few years away. Nevertheless, it's still forging ahead, and great update there from FedNow. And did you guys know this? That's right, tips are back on the XRP tip bot. So apparently there was some anonymity issues with Uphold, but now Vin has said that tips are back. The XRP tip bot is back, so you can start sending XRP tips on Twitter now. Thank you, Vin and the Uphold team, for making this possible. Happy XRP tipping, everybody. And I've been keeping a ledger. I wanted to keep a ledger of everybody I wanted to tip over this down period, because I didn't want them to lose out on tips. So I have a list here of some people that I plan on tipping. And it was because of some legislation in the Netherlands that you now have to integrate your Uphold account with your tip bot. So that is part of this as well. So if you guys like using the tip bot, it's back up and running. And I believe you need to actually, from the buyers and senders and both, you do need to have an account in order to send and receive tips. So if I am sending a tip to somebody and they are not connected to their Uphold account, the tip will get rejected, unfortunately. So thanks XRP Crypto Wolf for pointing that out. Stephen Bull from the DApp also mentions this in a response document to the European Commission consultation by FMLC. XRP is mentioned as a bridge currency. And so this guy's from back in March. This is from a couple of months ago now. But it's great because the FMLC, if you guys don't know who they are the Financial Markets Law Committee. And what their mandate is to educate participants in the wholesale financial markets to identify issues of legal uncertainty and misunderstanding in the framework of markets that might give rise to material risks, research and produce reports on the best way to solve these issues, and then advocate for those solutions to the organizations best able to affect change. So kind of a grassroots payments body that wants to essentially level the playing field for everybody so that everything is fair with regards to markets and the economy. On their radar, banks, security firms and issuers, funds and fund managers, market infrastructure bodies, trade and professional associations, accountants and auditors, barristers and solicitors, judges, public authorities, academics, legal and financial journalists, NGOs, and executive government departments and agencies. So it runs the gamut there. And what they had said here is they talk about Ripple's XRP, their crypto asset XRP, which acts as a bridge currency. So they're mentioning it. They know about it, obviously. No implementation, but clearly the fact that they're mentioning it obviously is of note because people on this board include Rob Price of the Bank of England and Pansy Wong of JP Morgan. So heavy hitters on this board. And it's great to see more and more connections to Ripple and XRP worldwide. This thing is going to be massive. We just have to wait. I think the next run up for us, guys, I know we thought maybe 2 years ago that we were going to see real world utility before another bull run. But the fact remains, we are seeing a bull run now for Bitcoin, and we are going to jump on the train. We are going to trade our XRP, maybe grab some profits along the way. Let's not forget this was the last bull run when not as many people knew about XRP, and we saw an all-time high of $3.35, at least on this exchange. XRP went even higher on other exchanges, up to $3.80, I think it was recorded. And again, this was all just because of Bitcoin, the frenzy, the craziness. So if you believe Bitcoin is going to go up, I'd also assume that you probably think XRP is going to at least $5, probably even higher, in the next spec bull run. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off track here. Do you know who just had an interview yesterday and nobody has watched it? Guys, this from XRP Crypto Wolf pointed me in this direction. Ripple's managing director, Navin Gupta, shared his keen insights in an interview online here. Now, guys, I watched this morning, and it only has 123 views. Now, it was just released yesterday, but I will link it in the description. Navin Gupta, it's a 30-minute interview with Samir Jaini, and he's talking essentially about Ripple integration in India specifically. Some of the topics, when a product like XRP can enter India, how entrepreneurs can build use cases around Ripple, and whether there will be a rise in the number of bank and fintech collaborations. Some of it is basic stuff that we already know, but some of it is some keen insight, especially if you're interested in that Indian market, because they really focus on that. Let's not forget, India, one of the top remittance, or rather, it is the top, I think. It is the top remittance country in the world, and second is Mexico. So India is a big, big player here, and I'm surprised more people haven't viewed this interview by now. Guys, anyways, I will link it in the description for those of you guys interested. And we all talk about economies that exist in real life because that's tangible. It's tangible. It's what we see. It's what we know. And I had an inclination, but I had no idea that this could also actually affect how XRP is used in the ecosystem. Last one here, guys. One of Ripple's largest XRP investments envisions a $30 billion virtual economy. Okay, aside from the real economies of the world, we're talking virtual economies, and this with regards to gaming company Forte. They envision a world where the economy of a single video game could dwarf the entire music industry. That's how big this in-game economy could be. In a lecture at Andreessen Horowitz's crypto startup school, Williams explains how blockchain technology and smart contracts can be used to revolutionize in-game economies. So this from Josh Williams, CEO of the Ripple-funded blockchain gaming company Forte. He notes that developers today are just acting as merchants, one-directionally selling players goods for real-life currency. With Forte's technology, however, the ownership of digital goods and currencies can be stored on the blockchain, granting players decentralized control over their in-game assets. This gives players actual cash incentives to acquire in-game content that they could potentially sell later at a profit. So, a whole entire economy based on a blockchain. in a video game. We know that the video game industry is one of the biggest entertainment industries in the world, or it is the biggest entertainment industry in the world. It transcends all borders and all languages. And so it's important to note and to not ignore. In turn, Williams explains developers could find themselves at the wheel of an actual in-game economy, gaining several potential new revenue streams as a result. So you can make money in the game. Developers could establish a fiscal policy and tax player transactions, and they could also store a reserve of in-game assets to sell if the economy takes off. If you step back and put all the pieces together, you're creating a market economy inside of games, instead of a command and control economy or just a pure merchant economy, which is the case in games today. And market economies are how the world works today, and the world's economy is much bigger today than it was in the past. The same thing will happen in games. So not just buying objects in games, but actually an economy. Things of value will gain and lose value because of conditions of the game, and people might start living online if that becomes their job. I mean, we're already seeing, yes, gamers play video games for money, but if you can do something in a virtual world to make money, will we see a whole generation, an entire generation, making money in video games as their video game avatar, and that's what they do for a living? The beauty about this is that Forte already runs on Ripple, XRP, and the possibilities that are starting to emerge are sounding more and more lucrative by the day, which is constantly begging the question, I'm sure, for a lot of traders, niggling at their brains. How much XRP do I trade in a spec run versus how much XRP do I keep long term? When we see this real world utility kick in, and when we really see XRP price seriously go to the moon. 3, potentially even 4 digits. I'm going to end this off here with Martin Volk's tweet. Thanks so much, Martin. XRP's in action. Guys, the lack of action where some is expected or appropriate has me believing that nothing is going to happen to XRP's price until they in quotes, are ready. Ripple and their partners are building the foundation, and that is okay, XRP community. We've got to be patient. We've got to hold strong. But guys, that's just my opinion, and clearly Martin's also. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.